Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ellis and today I'm back with another match preview. It's Everton versus Wolverhampton Wanderers on Wednesday at Goodison Park. Another game, can't say I'm massively excited for it, but we're here again, aren't we? It's a huge week, a huge week for Everton, with of course potentially the takeover finally getting over the line. Everton versus Wolves, and then the final Merseyside derby at Goodison Park on Saturday. So let's get right into looking at this Wolves game. I feel like I say it every week. We need to win. We really need to win. We just come off the back of a disgraceful performance, really, against Man United. Completely gifted them a 4-0 victory, didn't we, really? They didn't have to do much to go and get that win. They didn't really get out of first gear to go and beat us 4-0, and it's really piled the pressure on the players and the manager now, hasn't it? And it's leaving us all thinking, when are we actually going to get going this season? When are we going to start picking up those wins that we know we need? It seems like we're in a bit of a relegation battle, which I never would have thought at the start of the season. So changes need to be made and things need to turn around quick, and I hope that starts on Wednesday. Looking at the team, I'd be making big changes. Nathan Patterson, I'd be bringing him in. He came on as a sub against United, put a decent cross in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who nearly scored, to be fair to him, but I'd be having Patterson in now. He's obviously an attacking threat, way more of an attacking threat than Mykolenko and Young, for example, so I'd be including him in that side and just give him a chance now, because how worse can he be than everyone else? You know, he's a player who's obviously fit again now. He's had his games programme, he's had his time back training, so you'd think now maybe he is ready to be integrated into that squad. And we need Nathan Patterson to get up to speed in an Everton shirt, because in a year's time, Seamus Coleman might not be here, Ashley Young might not be here. So we need that right back, who is meant to be the long-term right back, to actually be in and ready now. So I'd be playing Nathan Patterson. Vitaly Mykolenko, it's time for him to have some time out of the side. He's really struggled this season. I do like the guy, but he just, going forward, he's got very little, and even defensively, he's looked a shadow of himself this season. So what I'd be doing is bringing Young to the left and actually putting Patterson at right back. I'd also bring the forgotten man, Jake O'Brien, into the side. You've got to make changes when things are this bad, and he brought Jake O'Brien and Patterson on in the last game, and it seemed more because there was absolutely nothing left to play for, but for me, it should be a sign of, right, they've got to be in that team now, because your centre-backs both let you down in the United game. Jared Branthwaite and James Tarkowski played terribly, to be honest. And once again, I like both of them, but they really struggled. So I'd be bringing Jake O'Brien in as well. This sounds like wholesale wild changes, but I just think it's necessary, to be fair. And then the Beto-Dom situation, you can flip a coin, really, can't you? Neither of them score goals. So it's like, what do you do at that point? I'd probably stick with Beto just because he did look bright for those first 15 minutes or so, and, Dom's had how many games to prove himself? Beto's had one start there, and in all of his starts that he's been at Everton have all been real tough away games, the majority of them anyway, so I'd be giving Beto a run of games now, really. Maybe apart from the derby, I wouldn't know what to do on that one, but that is for another preview. In terms of Wolves, though, our opposition for this game, they seem to have just picked up a little bit now. I was thinking Gary O'Neill was ready for the sack, ready to go, and they've just about managed to turn things around. They're nowhere near there yet. Of course, they lost their last game to Brentford 4-2, but the week before that they won 4-1, so they're obviously scoring now, which is something that we aren't doing. They've got a world-class, arguably, player in Matheus Cunha, who he just seems levels above everything Wolves have and levels above anything we have. Can score a goal from anywhere, can shoot from anywhere. He's got technical ability. He just links everything together, and I think he is going to be the standout for Wolves in this game. He's the one that I'm definitely most worried about. For the rest of the team, I wouldn't say I'm massively worried about Wolves, but Matheus Cunha is a seriously good player, and he's been supplying goals for Strand Larsen as well, the striker who they got from nowhere, really, and he started bagging a few this season, so they've got two players in goal-scoring form who we need to worry about, and Strand Larsen's a big lad, and he's got good positioning, so those defenders who had an awful game against United are going to have to wake up for this one. In terms of their weaknesses, though, Jose Sarr, what a worrying performance that was for him against Brentford. Against Bournemouth, sorry. Wow. he was struggling, wasn't he? He was struggling big style. 2 penalties conceded that were his fault. They obviously conceded 3 as well, so he actually let a hat-trick of penalties in, and he just struggled all game. And I think some of it was his fault, some of it was from the Wolves defenders actually just passing it round the back and playing really weird passes in and around their own area. It's quite a confusing one, that, because I didn't think O'Neill was strict on playing out from the back, but it's something we need to look to exploit in this game. But then you could also say they could do the same, because look where our goals that we conceded came from against United. So what can you say? But in terms of us, I think it's a game at home again in our final season at Goodison, which is one that we should be looking forward to. And ultimately, we're not, are we? Which is, it's heartbreaking, really. It's gutting, because I want to be going to Goodison and looking forward to us playing in those final few games at the Grand Old Lady to go and get those final wins that'll just stay with us forever. And we need them to start coming sooner or later, don't we? We've got a week of 2 games here at home. Of course, one being the last Merseyside derby, and it just has to go right for us. Has to go right for us on Wednesday, and it has to go right on Saturday, because otherwise we're just staring down the barrel and it's terrifying. So I think we can beat Wolves. I don't think they're that good a side. They're not a team that we need to be terrified of, but this is another thing that just seems to be ringing in my head that I seem to say every week. Like, it seems that every time we've got a game, I'm thinking we don't need to worry about these, and then the next minute they beat us. So I'm not saying that we're going to win, but I'm saying that we should be taking the game to them. Whether we do or not is another story, isn't it? We know that Sean Dyche isn't a big fan of taking the games to people, so we'll see what happens on that front. I imagine it's going to be more of a case of trying to keep it tight and hope to nick one, which it's horrible to watch, isn't it? And I don't know how much longer it's going to last for, but we just need to get a win, because it's been for so long without a win that you're almost losing the whole mindset. It's like what Dyche said when he was at Burnley. I don't think these players know how to win. That's exactly how it feels at the minute. It's exactly like it was when he was at Burnley and he was calling us. So they need to turn it around. They need to find a way. And you can see already, there's a few tickets going up on the resale at Goodison Park last season. There's like plenty of seats suddenly cropping up, and people are not wanting to go. And it should never, ever be like that in Goodison's last season. And I don't blame the fans at all, but it's so frustrating, isn't it, that we can't just have a team that we can be proud of in this final year at Goodison. But we'll put the negatives aside and hope that we can do something in this game. You never know. It might just drop for us, and it might just be the start of the turnaround this season. If we beat them, we create a real gap with them, don't we? They're on 9 points. I think we're on 11 at the moment. So if we do win, you then go 5 points clear, which would be a big step, wouldn't it? We'd also go a few points clear of the other sides in and around that area. Of course, Ipswich, Palace are also 2 points behind us, so depending on how they do, we could pull away from them if we get that win. So it's huge, isn't it? It's a midweek game. We've not had one of them for a while. It's a chance to be at Goodison under the lights and prove a few people wrong. These players have the chance to prove people wrong, because at the moment, fans seem to be thinking that the players aren't quite up to it. They obviously seem to think the manager's not quite up to it, which I think is almost unanimous at this point. And they need to prove us wrong, don't they? And we do not owe them anything. We've absolutely supported them since day dot and always will. But we need to be repaid for it now, don't we? And I really hope that we do in this game, because coming up after that is an absolute horror show of fixtures. We've got the derby, we've got Arsenal, we've got Chelsea, and then we've got struggling Manchester City as well. Maybe that'll be the one we win, eh? Maybe that'll be it. We'll go and beat City, and they don't seem to be doing well either at the minute. So maybe that's just going to be the one that works out for us in the end. But in terms of a prediction, I think maybe we can sneak it. I don't think I've predicted us to win in a while. So if I predict us to win, maybe we actually will this time. I'm going to go with 2-1. There's always goals in Wolves games, and I'm predicting us to score 2 goals. You might completely disagree with me, but we're going to get a win here, and we're going to just stop that rot, because we desperately need to, and I really hope they do. Let me know what you think. Do you think we can win this game? Have you got any positivity as an Evertonian at the minute? It's rubbish, isn't it, this? It's really rubbish, this situation. I'm so desperate for us to just get out of it, start a new era with the freaking group, hopefully a new manager as well in a brand new stadium. That's the light, and just make sure, Everton, that we get there in one piece. But that is all from your preview today. I do hope you've enjoyed. Speak to you next time. See you in a bit.